Hayley Smith has had more than her fair share of unfortunate moments in American Dad. From getting brainwashed by her own father to nearly freezing to death, Hayley's life is full of chaos and misery. Can you imagine having a dad who would shave your head while you sleep? Or a family member who turns you into a sleeper agent? The situations Hayley has been put through are sometimes downright shocking and even heartbreaking. With all the crazy and dangerous events in her life, it's no wonder she has trust issues. What do you think was the absolute worst thing she went through? Let's dive into the top 10 moments that pushed Hayley to her limit. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more Wild American Dad content. 10. Being brainwashed. Hayley's father, Stan, works for the CIA, and unfortunately for her, he often brings his work home. When Hayley was just a child, Stan had her participate in a secret CIA experiment called Project Daycare. Here, children were brainwashed into becoming sleeper agents. This abusive training left Hayley with lifelong nightmares. Years later, Stan uses the trigger phrase to turn her into a sleeper agent, forcing her to marry someone against her will. Can you imagine your own father manipulating you like this? It's no wonder Hayley has trust issues. 9. Having her head shaved. Hayley has always been rebellious, especially against her father. During an early season, she dyed her hair green after attending a Green Party rally. Stan, not appreciating her new look, sneaked into her room while she slept and shaved off all her hair, leaving her bald. The next day, she had to attend school, completely humiliated. Can you believe a father would do this to his own daughter? This is classic Stan Smith, reckless, invasive, and never considering how his actions affect others. 8. Going on a date with her dad. This one is just plain weird. After Hayley gets romantically involved with Stan's CIA body double, Bill, things go south when Bill dumps her. Afraid that Hayley might go on a violent rampage, Stan decides to pose as Bill and takes Hayley out on a date. This goes terribly wrong when Hayley, believing she's really with Bill, tries to take things further. When Stan is finally exposed, Hayley is left feeling humiliated and heartbroken. Wouldn't it have been easier to just tell her the truth from the start? 7. Going to jail. This time, Hayley actually starts the chain of events herself. She teams up with her brother Steve to create and sell fake IDs. However, things quickly spiral out of control, and Stan is put on the case to bust the operation. To protect Steve from prison, Hayley takes the fall, hoping that being Stan's daughter will get her off easy. Unfortunately, it doesn't. She gets sent to jail, feeling betrayed and abandoned by her own family. Who else thought Stan would step in to save her? 6. Almost freezing to death. One Christmas, Stan is unhappy with the family's Christmas tree, so he drags everyone out into a freezing forest to find a new one. While Stan obsessively searches for the perfect tree, Hayley and the rest of the family huddle in the car. Unfortunately, Stan has the car keys, leaving them unable to turn on the heater. The family almost freezes to death on what should have been a joyous holiday. Doesn't it seem like Stan is constantly putting his family through unnecessary dangers? 5. Project Daycare. Again. Before puberty, Hayley had a fairly happy childhood and got along with her father. But then came puberty, and everything changed. During this turbulent time, Hayley's temper tantrum sent Stan and Francine into a corner, cowering on more than one occasion. In one episode, Roger made the mistake of making fun of her pimple, and she threw him out of a window and set the house on fire. Puberty is hard for everyone, but for Hayley, it was a complete nightmare. 4. Almost dying of kidney failure. After a wild night of drinking, Hayley's kidneys fail, and she ends up in the hospital. The doctors tell Stan and Francine that Hayley needs a kidney transplant. During this crisis, Stan discovers that he might not be Hayley's biological father, as Francine had an affair around the time Hayley was conceived. Despite this shocking news, Stan decides to donate his kidney anyway. This is one of the rare instances where Stan actually steps up to make a positive difference in Hayley's life. It's one of the few times he's not directly responsible for her suffering. 3. Being shot and abducted. By Roger. Roger is a wild card, an alien who lives with the Smiths and is known for his selfish, often sociopathic behavior. When Roger discovers that Hayley has a talent for singing, he develops a crush on her. After Hayley rejects his romantic advances, he becomes unhinged. He shoots Hayley in the chest, sending her to the hospital. Later, he abducts her and even hints at an intention to wear her skin. Talk about a nightmare. Roger often crosses the line, but this time he really went too far. 2. Being disfigured by her dad. Stan is known for taking things too far, and this time, is no different. After a town mural is defaced by graffiti, Stan decides to restore it. However, he makes a mess of it and lets Hayley take the blame. To escape the wrath of the townspeople, Stan decides to perform an amateur face surgery on Hayley to make her unrecognizable. Of course, he lacks the skills to do this properly, leaving Hayley horribly disfigured. Can you imagine being disfigured by your own parent? It's hard to fathom how Stan thought this was a good idea. 1. Losing Jeff. Throughout the show, we see Hayley's relationship with Jeff Fisher evolve from on-again, off-again boyfriend to husband. In Season 9, Jeff discovers that the Smiths are living with Roger, an alien. Roger, feeling threatened, decides that Jeff must go. In a heartbreaking moment, Roger pushes Jeff into a spaceship that was meant to pick him up. Hayley is devastated by Jeff's sudden disappearance. Although he eventually returns, Hayley's time apart from Jeff is filled with sadness and longing. This event leaves a permanent scar on her, showing how much she truly loved Jeff. How would you cope with losing the love of your life to outer space? Those were the top 10 worst things that Hayley has endured, but the list doesn't end there. Now, let's dive into some even more jaw-dropping honorable mentions. Honorable mentions: being kissed by Steve. One of the most uncomfortable moments for Hayley was when her brother Steve unexpectedly kissed her. This awkward situation leaves everyone, including viewers, cringing. It was a moment that crossed boundaries and further showcased the chaos within the Smith family. Steve's actions added to the list of bizarre situations Hayley has been put through over the years. Living with the middle name Dream Smasher, Hayley once discovered that her middle name, Dream Smasher, was inspired by a deeply personal story of her father, Stan. He had given up on pursuing his own dreams after she was born. While it might seem humorous on the surface, this revelation brought a wave of guilt and sadness to Hayley. It was a stark reminder of how Stan often blames his family for his own missed opportunities, making Hayley feel like an unwanted burden rather than a cherished daughter. Getting bitten by a shark. Another incident that highlights Stan's recklessness was when he put Hayley in harm's way, resulting in her being bitten by a shark. It was yet another example of how Stan's impulsive actions often lead to dangerous situations for his family. Hayley had to endure the physical pain and trauma of the attack, showcasing the kind of unpredictable life she has had to live under her father's roof. And there you have it, our list of the top 10 worst things to happen to Hayley on American Dad. It's pretty shocking just how much chaos and heartbreak she's had to go through, right? From being brainwashed to nearly freezing to death, Hayley's life has been a roller coaster of wild and unpredictable events. Which moment do you think was the most gut-wrenching for her? Did we miss any of her worst experiences? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Hayley's misadventures, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more crazy American Dad content. See you next time.